Perfect. Yay. We are live. Awesome. Welcome, everybody, to the SHEconomy Show. This is the second episode, and it's really quite an important one for me, and it runs full circle because my guest today is the one and only Mr. Frank Crinite, who is incredible and who has supported me along the way with every turn. And I think our last show we did together live was how many years
Pre-COVID.
ago?
It was
Pre-COVID, right?
pre-COVID.
Like,
Yeah. Isn't it so funny? Everything's pre-COVID. Like
I
that's
know,
how you,
right? That's the
right?
the it's like before and after Christ. No, it's pre-COVID,
That's right.
before COVID. And it was incredible show then. And so I'm really excited to just learn from Frank and for all of you to learn from Frank. So I'm going to be asking him some questions and we're going to get into pick his brain about what he thinks about the female consumer, the importance of hiring for merit versus focusing on gender, creating an inclusive culture where diversity is celebrated. And of course, I'm going to make sure he gives you some awesome tips on, what you can do as leaders or within your dealership to cultivate an experience where women want to work and the female consumers want to shop. So, Frank, tell us, first of all, a little bit. I mean, I know everyone knows you because you're a bit of a celebrity online, but maybe there's somebody joining us that doesn't know you. Give yourself a little introduction.
Oh, I appreciate that. I've been in the car business now, which I call the people business. Not really the car business. We don't sell a product. We serve our community. For 23 glorious years at Piazza Honda in Springfield. They work for a family run organization, and where I think we're up to about 31 stores at this point. And I've been so blessed because they basically let me run my own business inside of a business, which allows me to be able to take care of my clients and my customers the way that I feel that they should. And that's really been the key to my success. It's not just putting yourself out on social media. It's not coming up with great ways to sell cars. It's just serving, being transparent, and doing things the right way for the past 23 glorious years at the same place has been the key to my success, and it's helped me get to the tops in the whole automotive industry, which is the biggest industry basically in the world at this point.
Yeah, well, it is right now, and I love that you're able to do that. It's actually unique. It's unique that you have that ability to run a business within a business and do it in a way that feels comfortable for you and is within your principles and your morals and everything else. And so let's talk about the female consumer, because I know you are all about maybe not all about the ladies, but you're all about focusing on and supporting the people around you, including women, and helping them have opportunities. I couldn't not have a show that starts off with this question, considering what I do in the business, and that's tailoring brand experiences to the female consumer. Do you see the value in the female consumer? Is it something that you focus on, and has it led to your success?
So I didn't do it last year, but the year before I did a breakdown to see in my CRM, what my percentage of customers actually was, and it was about 70% of them were women. And that's just a testament to the way that we do things, the way my team does things. We want to be transparent. We want to make sure that we respect everybody's time, we respect everybody's intelligence. That's what most shoppers want, most consumers want. And then it's so funny because a lot of the times a man is the one that always says they have to go talk to their spouse, right? No matter who that is, they have to go talk to their spouse. But a woman, if given the right amount of information, right, and the trust factors there, and you have built-in rapport, and that they feel comfortable, they make a decision. Most of the time, they don't say, "Let me go talk to whoever." Maybe they say they have to think about it themselves, but they never have to talk to anybody. But I find that men, a lot of times, that's what they need to do, which is totally great. But that just means that the woman, right, usually makes a lot of the decisions in the household. So we definitely concentrate on making sure that, everybody has a great experience, but especially women, because especially in my industry, there's a real stigma about, buying a car, right? Being a
Mm.
female walking into a dealership to buy a car. Like, years ago, it would always be like a female, a young lady, a woman would have maybe a man with her to come in and buy a car, or somebody else to come in and buy a car. And now it's, because of the reputation that we've grown with my team, because of social proof, because of, word of mouth and being able to spread that word of mouth over social media, it's not that way anymore. Somebody's able to come in, get the information, or actually we're able to give them the information way up front so they can make the decision before they ever come into a dealership. So the female is it's the most important part of my business because they're also some of my best referral sources.
Well,
they'll
women refer 25 to 30% more than men.
it's probably bigger than that with my business. I have a lot of women that run a lot of Facebook groups, a lot of social media groups, and are very influential in the community, being community leaders that I've networked with and done business with. And if you treat them the way and you reciprocate business with them, and it's a game changer for my business. It's been anyway. So yeah, I mean, I see the value, I see the value in all my customers, all my clients, but definitely that female consumer. And especially a few years ago, when we're building that confidence in ourselves and the marketplace that a female consumer can come in and do business by herself. Why wouldn't she be able to? Right. And that's, where my business has ended up. That's why it's 70% female consumer driven.
And that's right in line with sort of the industry stats, right? Where, it's 65% of new cars are actually purchased by women. So that's like in and around your 70%. And then when in a coupled relationship, 85% of those decisions are being made by women. So your CRM is right sort of in the middle, your stat in between the industry stats, which just shows that's what's actually happening out there. And I wanted to just, go back a second, because I think anybody that's on right now who maybe didn't hear this, or did, needs to take this tip home. The incredible influence she has from a referral perspective, and how Frank has used that to help build his business. So Facebook groups and interacting with them and getting them to sing his song and earning that trust. I think that's an incredible sales tip. And it is female focused. I mean, you want to fill your funnel, there is a great way to do it.
100%.
That's incredible. So when, you're successful, you talk about how, there's 70% women and they're referring you and you've got that trust factor. What is it that you do differently? And if you could share with everybody watching, so maybe they can take away a tip that tailors that experience to her, so that you do in fact gain that trust and that loyalty, so you can have her referrals and her future business.
It's so funny. So I had a woman customer. She was in her 40s, maybe early 50, late 40s, early 50, and I was going over a used car with her. I'd never met her. She was just she just somehow I got her as a customer. Right? She wasn't a referral, and I don't take a lot of new clients. So it was just somebody I was getting to meet. So she didn't really know me at all. I didn't know her. So there was no, hey, we know and trust Frank. And I'm out there showing her the used car, and she said, "Do you mind? Can you pop the hood for me?" I said, "Absolutely." And I popped the hood for her. And listen, honestly, in the last probably 15 years, I might have popped like 4 or 5 hoods because to me, there's not much to see under there. And I popped the hood for her and went over there and put the hood up. And she looked at me and she goes, "Thank you, because if you told me that there's no reason for me to take a look under there, I would have walked out of here, because the last 2 dealerships that I was at told me that." I said, "Are you serious?" She goes, my dad was a mechanic. He taught me how to work on cars and what to look for when I was shopping for cars when I was 16 years old. So I went to look at the belts, check the oil myself, and so if you treat women any differently than you treat a man, like you're going to lose the respect. You know what I mean? So it's all to me about transparency, being able to, like I said earlier, focus on not wasting anybody's time, giving them exactly what information that they need so they can make an educated decision, if they even want to do business with you before they make a decision if they want to buy a car from you, right? So, that's where we concentrate, making sure that everybody feels comfortable and that they're getting the information that they need or ask for. So that's what we concentrate on. And it's not that we're like, hey, how do we get female consumers to buy cars from us, right? We don't sit around as a team and come up with the idea. Maybe we should, I guess, but it's just a way
Well,
that, yeah,
yeah,
it's just really, it's a product of what we do every day. You know what I mean? With every consumer. So we treat everybody like, they understand, the questions that they're asking. We make sure that we're 100% honest with the questions that they're asking for you, give them all the information. And it just makes life so much easier when somebody feels comfortable to do business with you. Then they'll end up with the product. But nobody will end up with a product if they don't
yeah,
buy you first. All right. So that's what we call.
100%.
All right.
100%. And so what I hear you saying is and what I always encourage organizations, whether it's dealerships or travel, hospitality, medical, anyone I work with, is you want to cast the experience net wide enough so that you capture both the man and the woman. And that's what I hear that you're doing. You're not alienating one or the other, and you're creating an experience where they can trust you and they have a relationship with you, because you're right. Another dealership's a stone throw away, and they sell the same type of vehicle that they're looking at with you. And so they're buying into the relationship. They're not that person. They're buying you, not necessarily the vehicle. Now, I have this saying I use all the time. I truly believe that if women don't want to work for you, why the heck would they want to shop with you? Women want to do business with organizations they can see themselves in. And in the automotive space, unfortunately, it's just slim pickings in terms of who's on that sales floor. We may find a ton of women in the BDC, not so much in the service drive, although that is amping up a little bit. But we don't see a lot of women, in roles that are customer facing. And I
So
know you're passionate about this. So talk to me about how you feel about women in that male dominated space.
this is going to sound a little weird, but if, I had to choose my gender in this industry, it would be as a woman, because I feel like you could be more powerful in this industry. Actually, I know you can. I train hundreds and hundreds of salespeople all over the country with our. I had a training program for myself for years, and now we have the Pinnacle Society with my buddy Jonathan Dawson and Ali Rita, two very influential people in the car industry and the auto industry, and some of my best friends. And the most successful gender that we train right now is women. I won't mention names. I don't want to bring them up on here, but I have, one salesperson who started out in the industry. She's dominated by men, and, had to get through some mental hurdles to get past that. We got her past that. And she, within 6 months, became the number one salesperson in that organization, right? Went from selling 7 cars to over a year and a half in selling 54 cars a month. That in this
Wow.
industry, that's huge self-generated business for the most part. So, and I could probably name another, 15 women that we train that are uber successful if they have the right, information to be able to give to the consumer, and they're trained the right way. So an organization, if they wanted to hire somebody, I would specifically look for people that don't necessarily, have to be, me. If I was going to hire somebody, it would be, somebody that doesn't have my same skill set. I already have my skill set. So, for instance, when I was looking for a teammate, I have Marianne that I found about 2 years ago through Facebook. I asked the community for help. I was looking for somebody to help drive my business and help me with organization. And 3-4 people reached out to me and said, you have to talk to Marianne. I'm like, okay, send her in. She came in. She had her resume all nice and printed up. I said, I don't do resumes. She goes, oh my God, I spent like 2 days like getting this together. I said, I know, I just want to have a conversation with you. And had a conversation with her. We sat there, we talked, make sure that, she knew exactly what I was looking for, and, just see if she had a personality that we could grow in this business. And she did. And literally she's been sent here by God to help me.
Marianne's on now. Best decision I
Marianne,
ever made. Love being on Team Frank.
yeah.
Yes.
So, listen, if I could duplicate Marianne, I would, 100 times over. Everybody's like, hey, how does my, teammate do this and do that? I'm like, listen, I talk to Marianne. Like, she is just a beast in this industry with the amount of work that she's able to help our team get accomplished every single day. So, and, you know, I honestly don't think that, I could work that way with anybody else but her. Like, she's literally been the chosen one for me to help me do everything, and it's awesome, and I'm very, very proud and happy to say that she's on our team.
That's incredible. We were talking before we came on the show. I was visiting a dealer this past week, and this is like an opposite story to your story and the way you support women for the skills they have and putting them in the right role so they can succeed and giving them all the information. Well, at this dealer, I was speaking to the fixed op director, and they had a service manager. I couldn't even call her that because she was not allowed to have the title. The owner of the group will not promote her because she is a she, because she is a her, and she's doing the job better than her predecessor. She's, maxing out her pay plan, so she's being paid like a service manager, but she's not allowed to have the title. And unfortunately, in this industry and many others, that's a real obstacle women need to overcome. So, Frank, I mean, being a male in the industry and supporting women, maybe you can give the women out there some advice. Like, how do they get to that next level? How do they go from the 5 cars or 7 cars to 54 in 6 months? How do they become, a Marianne? How do they, become valuable? And what can they do to be noticed and not seen for their gender, but seen for their merit, for what they can do for the business?
Well, first of all, never, ever, ever let anybody in any circumstance let your gender dictate your mindset or your success, right? So, if I was coaching, this woman, listen, you have decisions that you need to make. How important is a title for you to keep advancing in your career? To me, a title's not that important. Like, I'm going to go in every day and dominate what I do, no matter if I'm, hey, sales guru, sales manager, salesperson, or I'm just, whatever, employee number 101. In my head, I'm running my own business every single day, right? I'm not going to let somebody else, just because they're the, hey, manager, owner, or whatever, determine my mindset every day that I need this title. Now, some people are title driven. They need or want the title, and I understand that. But, if she wants to stay with that organization, I would just yes everybody to death and continue to do my job the way that I know is successful and serving my community. If it gets to a point where you can't live at that place because you want that title, then listen, your success dictates what you can do in this industry. I mean, I've been headhunted 100 times over and over and over, and I always tell everybody, thank you, I'm very flattered, I'm humbled, but I love where I'm at, and it's not about money to me, it's about serving my community, and the Piazzas give me that opportunity to be able to serve the community. I don't need a manager title. I don't need, any type of, anything to do that. I just need to keep my values. What I know I need to do to keep serving the community. But hey, listen, if as there's a lot of old mentality in a lot of businesses, and especially, this business, that a lot of people need to look like me, right, to be able to get anywhere in an industry, right? A man, or whatever it is. But I would never let my gender, my race, my whatever it is, somebody's gender, race, or anything determine how they succeed. If somebody is helping grow your business, they're people you want to promote through your business. And right now it's I don't want to sound like my parents. I feel like when I say it's a different time now, right? But it's a
Huh?
different time. I'm watching a lot of people that, sales, they don't want to work from 9 to 9, 4 days a
Mm.
week, right? They don't want to work every weekend. But a lot of the dealerships that I train, I talk to GMs, I talk to, owners, I talk to, managing partners. And I'm like, listen, if you want to attract talent, you're not going to pull somebody like me from a dealership, right? You're not going to pull somebody that's selling 40, 50 cars unless there's a real problem. And a lot of
Mhm.
times that problem is the person selling 40 or 50 cars anyway. If they want to
Yeah,
leave the dealership, it's them. They're going to have that problem wherever it is. It's not the
it'll
grass is greener.
follow them. Yeah.
We're going to
Mhm.
create that. We're going to create that problem. If you want to attract new talent, a new generation of talent, you have to be flexible with pay plans. You have to be flexible with schedules, right? I mean, if somebody is a high performer or they're talented, it seems like the industry wants to control you more, right? Managers want to try to control that more, where you need to, graduate that person from freshman, sophomore, give them more more room to be able to create their own schedule, bring in their own business, So we need to change the way that we think that this business has been done for years. We need to change our thinking on it. Or a lot of these dealerships, I mean, they're just not going to grow. They're not going to be successful. I'm not saying they're not going to be profitable, but they're not going to grow, right? And I'm all about progress and the next thing. I never want to sit up here and say, hey, we're doing so great right now. This is the way it's always going to be done. Well, if I thought that way when COVID hit, I'd be like everybody else that was scrambling, trying to figure out how to do business. I already knew how to do business in the COVID era because we were already doing that. We were already delivering vehicles to people, had everything ready before they came, sitting outside, paperwork ready. So we had all the processes ready and we changed them so many times. We just didn't sit around and say, hey, this is successful. It's going to keep being successful. We were very forward thinking. What can we change to make this industry better? What can we change more importantly to make the experience better for the consumer? And
Mhm.
if you're an owner or you're a GM or a managing partner or somebody that hires people, what can we do better to make the experience more attractive to bring in people that, could be in one of the highest paying industries in the world with or without a degree. This is one of the highest paying industries in the world. And believe it or not, the person who's made, and I won't mention her name, made the most income as a salesperson in this industry. I think it was last year, $2.7 million as
Oh
a
my
salesperson.
goodness.
Right. A woman,
Love
very,
that.
yes, very influential woman in her community that does business the right way. Believe that.
I love that. That's incredible. And one of my mentors, I use this all the time because I think it rings so true, not just in business but in life. He always says, when you're designing a customer experience, so when you're designing your life or you're going out and trying to live life or do something bigger and better, you never arrive. Like there's never a ribbon cutting ceremony saying, yes, I made it. Like when you get to the top of one mountain, it's the bottom of another until you have another hill to climb. And the same holds true for just what you said. If you think you've arrived, well, you got to give your head a shake because you haven't. And
Right.
what are you going to do to look 5 years out the road? We got to stop looking so myopically and think, oh, we've got it going on and we can see only just the end of our nose. It's time to really, as I said, give your head a shake a little and create that opportunity. And that's what I really heard from you is one opportunity, so that path, but two, the culture that the dealership breeds. Because when you talked about sitting there and creating that experience for the right person, it's really important that the dealer or the dealership takes notice,
Right.
that actually puts that person in front of them and says, okay, this is what you're capable of. This is how I can grow you here. And it doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman. And the other side to the culture piece is, you talked about the 9 to 5 and you talked about, creating your own schedule. Well, a lot of that is what women actually need in order to enter the industry because they
Right.
are moms and maybe they do have a baby and they need to take a 20-minute break to pump for the baby, or maybe they need to take a week off, or maybe their kid is sick. And if they're performing, what does it matter when they're working? Do they need to
So
go bell to bell?
I asked Marianne when she started, before she started. I said, "What would be your ideal schedule if you could, if you could, if you could pick what you
Marianne just said I have the best schedule ever. I love it.
ever?" So she wrote it out. She's like, my boyfriend's, he's done work early or off on Mondays, so I'd like to be done at like 5. The rest of the week I can work Monday through Thursday, probably till about 7 because he's working anyway. I'd go home, and hang out with my dogs. 'Cause her dogs are her kids,
Yep,
and I love my weekends. I said, all right, great. So you work Monday till 5. You work Tuesday to Thursday till 7, and I'll see you the next Monday. She's like,
that's
really?
awesome.
She's like, you don't need me here on a Saturday when you're selling like 15, 20 cars? I'm like, nope, I'll figure it out. We're good. That's what you need to, be happy working side by side with me every day. Then that's the way it's going to work. And we'll figure out the rest. And, if you walked into a dealership and said that, they'd feel like you're trying to dictate their schedule, your life to them right away. They're like, we're never going to have this person under control. Absolutely not. And it's the exact opposite. You don't need control when you empower people around
Mhm.
you to be part of the team, right? Not just, hey, you're my assistant, you're my teammate. You're somebody that I trust with my business and my reputation. Then, hey, I want you to feel comfortable and I want you to trust me that I have your best interest at heart, not just somebody that I'm here to, make sure that's making my life easier. So Marianne will tell you, she might make my life easier, but we also complicate the business because we want to keep growing. So, we feed off of each other. It's been great. She has a new title every day, just so you know. Every
I
day I
love
make a new
that.
title
But
for her.
but but who's going to be there the moment you need her? She will
Oh,
be,
yeah,
without a
she'll
doubt,
be.
right? Like you've provided
Oh,
that for her, and so that's incredible. We have a huge comment here coming on from Gary, and he's commented a few times, so I'm going to shout him out. Spot on. You truly succeed. You should always be learning, training, and growing in your profession. As a former firefighter and paramedic, every day was a training day because if you didn't train, you could die. Just like in the business world, if you don't train and grow, your productivity and your success dies. Well said, Gary. And with that, the fact that everybody has to grow every single day and look at the ways they can diversify, create inclusion, look at the female consumer. I mean, I could talk to you all night, Frank, but I am going to respect your time and everybody's time. Give the listeners and the viewers one last tip. Like if there's something they need to know to succeed in, whether it is hiring for diversity or merit and with the goal of diversity, or the female consumer, capturing her heart, her mind, and her wallet, or just success in general as a leader, what would you put out there for them?
as a leader and as somebody that wants to see everybody else around them succeed, to keep growing, you need to give. We have a group called the Pinnacle Society, and one of our mottos is it's never lonely at the top, right? I never want to be the person, at the dealership or in the industry, just at the top of the mountain, all by myself celebrating. It gets bored up there, right? So I want to lift everybody up that mountain that has drive, that has passion, that wants to succeed, that wants to have progress. It doesn't matter the gender, the work ethic, and what they bring to the table is what I want to push and have them succeed with our team. So bring everybody else up the mountain. If you want to be successful as a business owner, as just a salesperson, which you actually are, a business owner. People say, "Oh, I'm just a salesperson." No, if you're in sales, you have your own business. So I want to empower other people around me, not just people that work for me or with me, but other people in the dealership. There's service advisors that I can empower to help bring them up, right? I can flow my power to them by giving them business or introducing to them to my good clients so that they feel comfortable doing business with that person. Anybody that has any part of growing your business. From my businesses, the detail people, right? If without them, my business stops, it dies if I can't get cars detailed. So I check in with them every day, make sure they're doing good. I shout them out as much as I possibly can too, and I thank them every month. I got Justin; he's on my team. We bring them up the mountain. Tyler, like these are all people that allow me to be the face of our business, but they're really the ones that are help driving it. So long story short, bring as many people up the mountain that have the same work ethic, that have desire to grow. Don't
Mhm.
just be the one at the top dictating how everything goes. That's what's in a good leader, not just a manager or somebody that wants to tell everybody how to do their job. So I like to bring people up to the top of the mountain.
I love that. I have this saying, a leader without followers is just somebody taking a walk all on their own. And so, to that end, I couldn't agree more. And I have to attest that you are that person, because everyone listening and watching, and if you're going to listen and watch this replay, I reached out to Frank and he instantly, yes, of course, what do you need? I want to help you succeed. I'll do whatever you need. That is truly who he is, and he stands by that. And we definitely need more leaders in life just like you, Frank. And so I know I'm super grateful. I know your team is on here and they love you and they're super grateful. And everybody who's watching needs to take a tab and a page out of Frank's book, because you will only succeed if you do. So thank you so much for your time, Frank. I'm super, super grateful. And I'm gonna get you a book, and then I'm gonna get your team members. You know what I'm gonna do, Marianne? I'm sending you a book signed. And Tracy, I'm going to send you one too. And maybe I can have you two ladies on the show as a follow-up down the road. That'd be amazing.
That'd be
But
great.
I'm going to send you out some books so that they can read it. And maybe some of your teammates, you can share them out.
100%.
And custom her experience, because really at the end of the day, she is the economy. She influences $43 trillion of worldwide spending, hence the show name, SHEconomy. And again, I'm so grateful that you're on, and you're such a support to everyone around you, not just gentlemen, but also the ladies. Thank you so much, Frank. And everyone, thank you for attending, and it's super interactive. And we'll be back next Tuesday. Take care.
Thanks,
Bye.
everybody.